going on, everybody? Welcome into episode 6 of the J.O.B. podcast. I'm Dave Ford.
And I am Ty Steele.
You sure you're still Ty Steele today?
I'm sure.
Man, we've got a good one lined up for y'all today. Very exciting. And we're going to take a break from the heavy subjects and do some quick hitting things that are pop culture initiated and involved with. But hey, today is the kickoff of the 2019 college football season. And for you Gator and Canes fans out there, this is a big day. And you've been waiting for this since 2013. That's the last time these teams played. And unfortunately, for my man Gator fan here, y'all have lost 7 of the last 8. And I got a lot more numbers that I'll hit you with in a little bit. We're gonna feature that one today. That's gonna be the big one. We are also talking about what are your most impactful songs of the 1990s. And we're also going to cover your top 5 Marvel movies. So these have been some interesting things this week. And I was texting you during the week, like, you got your list yet? You got your list yet? You're like, no, man, I haven't gotten it yet. So I guess that's
a hard list, man.
It is. Hey, first of all, congratulations on your win last night. You know, it's nice to win again, isn't it? I'm not trying to embarrass you, but I felt like I won with you. I was living vicariously through you, so I got to say it's nice to be back on the winning track. Congratulations.
Hey, it was definitely a great win last night. It was hard playing against my old school. It was great seeing those players that I've coached since middle school go out there and get after it, and new guys who executed the game plan on the Rutherford side. It was great. It was a great atmosphere. As a coach, you know, you always critique things, and you're like, man, I wish we'd have done this. We could have done that better. But hey, the win is a win.
Dub. You got the dub, man. That's all that counts. Got that first one.
I'll take a win all day.
Absolutely. I mean, gosh, you know, and that's one of those things where a win can lift up a part of the city too. You know, I think when teams like Rutherford Bay, North Bay Haven, Mosley, the regional teams that are right in this area, when y'all win, the rest of us win. Especially with everything everybody's been through, and losing can tend to get to you after a while when you feel like you're losing at life too in some ways. And that's the great medicine that sports can represent.
Yeah, it was great to see Rutherford play the way they played. I always told principals, I tell everybody, you can tell how your year of school is going to go based upon your football team.
Absolutely.
If you have a good football program, kids will come to your school. Kids will be there. We see certain situations now where kids are transferring left and right because they want to play football for a great team. So it's just something that everybody has to get together, think about. I challenge all those schools to figure out a way to be creative with your football programs.
Right.
If your football program suffers, your school suffers. So they have to really get together, focus on that. It was a great atmosphere last night. North Bay Haven always brings a great crowd. Rutherford brought a great crowd last night. And I woke up this morning and felt good. We was like, hey, we're the only undefeated team in Bay County right now. But shout out to everybody else who's going to change. The interesting thing I was telling you about, though, is I was watching a particular team who won last week and how the parents were just going crazy on Facebook.
Yes.
And this particular team lost this week, and now the parents are like going crazy on the coaches. So y'all keep in mind, it's very hard to be a coach. It seems like every time a team loses, it's the coach's fault. So y'all just be mindful of y'all coaches.
It is one of those things where you can't be in one week and out the next week. So, and that goes for players, coaches, and parents especially. So hang with them. From a coaching perspective, you can't just love us when we're putting the W on the scoreboard. You got to love us when we're down too.
Definitely.
And we need your support just as much as the players do. So, moving on, let's jump into this thing. What's the first one you want to do out of these 3?
Let's do Marvel.
You want to do Marvel? Okay.
Let's do Marvel. I know the music is gonna be fun.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna spend a lot of time with the music.
Yeah, the music is going to be fun and great for debate. So you want to do this? I'll throw my number 5. We'll go 5 down to 1.
5 down to 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's set the table here. Marvel has had 23 movies come out since 2008. Okay, did you even realize that? 23. All right, and I'm ashamed to admit that I have missed 2.
I wish too.
Ant-Man and Ant-Man 2.
What?
I didn't care about them at all.
Ant-Man is great.
Is it?
Ant-Man is great. Ant-Man and Wasp. Oh man, I'm all for that.
Well, we have not seen part 1, and we did try watching part 2, and have fallen asleep twice watching it.
Yeah.
So, dude, I don't know what it is about that. I guess it's just not completely engaging to me because he is literally and figuratively the smallest Marvel character. Okay, although he's one of the most gifted and very witty. I love Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Love that guy as an actor. I think if I was in show business, I would be like him because he's just a smart aleck.
Yeah.
And he's got that smirk. And he's quick-witted, and he's always got something behind his eyes where you don't know what he's going to say. He was perfect for the character, don't get me wrong.
He was great.
But as far as heroics, he's not, I guess, he's just not a sexy character. It's not a sexy storyline, you know what I mean?
I got you.
Not a guy that you grew up with, grabbing the comics.
I got you.
My number 5 is this. It is Avengers Infinity War with a caveat that it's tied with Thor Ragnarok.
I can see that.
How's that?
I can see that. Oh man, I can see that. Why did I think of that?
I mean, it was too hard because once I got to number 5, I went, oh crap, I'm leaving out a couple. And Thor Ragnarok, dude, that one grabs you from the throat, from the get-go, where he's talking to, I can't remember the character's name, but it's the one, it's the devilish one.
Oh yeah.
The gigantic demon.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just having this dialogue with this thing.
Yeah.
And he's hanging out on a chain. And you're getting a different side of Thor that is not the muscle-bound, Norse god.
Yes.
I love that movie from the moment go all the way to the end. You've got Hulk in it, actually talking.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the Hulk shirt today, representing. What are your thoughts on that number 5? That it's a tie that I couldn't even decide.
Oh man, listen, I had Ragnarok higher.
Did you? Where's your? Well, don't tell me that.
Yeah, I had it listed higher. But man, listen, when the Hulk talked in that movie, I was done. I was out of there. I'm a sucker for all of that. But yeah, I can definitely see how that's going to be a tie. See, I'm an overachiever over here. I got a top 10 list, but I'll have to figure out my 5 because I got to throw some shade on one of them that you probably didn't think about.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, what?
What's that?
I'll tell you about it when it's my turn.
Okay.
But my friend on here, I got 2 friends on here. Will, shout out to Will. Will, I didn't even think about that one. I don't even got him on my list, and it needs to be on there. I guess because I couldn't watch it with the kids. But Will definitely said Deadpool, music-wise, podcast. How did I forget about Deadpool?
Well, but that's not included in the MCU. Did you know that?
That's right, it's not in the
It's
MCU.
not, so it doesn't actually count for this.
I said Marvel on here, so
yeah.
I have to get you. Oh my God.
It doesn't count in the Marvel universe because of the Fox rights. And speaking of that, Sony, I don't know if you saw this other day, Sony pulling the plug on Spider-Man.
I heard it was back on again. Is that true?
Dude, it's like a relationship. It's that whole, hey, but it ain't me. It's not you, it's me kind of deal. This is the thing. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Disney wants too much. Disney's gotten too big.
Yeah.
Disney already gets 100% of the profits.
Yeah. Yeah, like all merchandise they sell.
They get it all, but they want all of it.
Yeah.
They
just giving them like movies. I think they get like 5 or 10% movie sales.
Exactly.
And then they get 100% merchandise. Like, I'm sick of Disney. They're so greedy.
They're everywhere.
Like Disney is like, come on guys.
Dude, they're getting ready to come out with a big deal. I don't know if you saw this, that the streaming war is alive and well right now. They're trying to crush Netflix.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to crush Netflix. But they definitely gonna try.
They're going to, I think, eventually, because Netflix has lost Friends, they've lost Seinfeld, in the last year, dude, they've lost both of those. And so Disney's come up with a package where you're going to get everything Disney, you're going to get all the Marvel movies, all the Marvel streaming, they're going to rip those from Netflix.
Yeah.
Plus ESPN Plus.
Wow.
And Hulu.
Oh,
all for $12.99 a month.
I'm not changing.
I'm telling you. You say that now.
Listen,
you say that now.
I started watching The Wu Assassin on Netflix. I'm not changing.
The Wu Assassin?
The Wu Assassin. Oh man, I have to tell you about it.
Because there's a Wu-Tang Clan doc on Hulu that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, The Wu Assassin is about this guy. I think it's shot like in Chinatown, like in Hollywood.
Okay.
But this guy was like a cook, and the Wu Assassin spirit came and visited him. So now he has the strength of 10 monks. Oh my, he's bad.
Oh, I think I have that on my save.
Man.
I think I have that on my list.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Okay. To me, you throwing a monkey wrench there. All right. Okay. Tamika says Thor Ragnarok was epic. Needs to be at least number 2.
I can't disagree with that. I mean, but see, my number 2 is pretty strong. Did you say your number 5 yet?
I haven't said my number 5.
What's your number 5? Go ahead.
I'm gonna have to throw a monkey wrench in it. I'm gonna actually put my number 10 at number 5. My number, and it's probably, and guess what? It's not a part of the MCU, but I got to put it up in there because without this movie,
you're changing the rules.
There would be no MCU.
Okay. What is it?
Blade.
Oh, well, they're redoing it.
Of course they're redoing it. But you think about Marvel was in bankruptcy until the movie Blade
came
out.
1997.
Yep, and he dug him out of the hole with that. And by the end of his series, the trilogy, I hated him. Kind of like, come on, Wesley, killing the character.
Yeah, they did.
But that first Blade movie,
it was great.
Oh my God!
Even with the rave music. You remember the rave music? Oh my God! I had the soundtrack. I'm gonna sell myself out.
There's something about a vampire walking down the street in the middle of the day. I was like, this is great. It gets no better.
Well, and Snipes was perfect for the time.
Yes.
He was perfect for the time, and it was the last great character that he had.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I'll buy that.
Okay.
I'll buy that. I like that. I like that pick actually. You changed the rules a little bit. I like that. Let's keep going. Number 4 for me. Ooh man, you said Blade started it all as far as getting the trailblazing going. This one actually started the MCU, and that's Iron Man Part 1. That's my number 4.
All right, I got you.
Dude, that movie right there is one of my guilty pleasures where if it's on, even though I own it, if it's on TV, I'm sitting down watching it.
Yeah.
Even though they changed Rhodey, which I didn't like. Still, when you everything that Robert Downey Jr. has put himself through in his life, I guess for me, that's a connection to it I've got too, is that we grew up watching Robert Downey Jr. in 80s movies.
Exactly.
And I remember thinking, gosh, this guy is like, he's funny, he's serious, he's everything. He's one of the most talented actors I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He goes off and gets addicted to heroin, and he's been in prison so many times, and he almost died. And then all of a sudden, his career resurrects with Iron Man.
Yes.
Think about it, if you take him out of that role, we don't look at Iron Man the same.
No. I couldn't see nobody else playing Iron Man at this particular point.
And they auditioned other people for it. Tom Cruise, dude.
Yeah. I couldn't see Tom Cruise doing it.
No.
Robert Downey Jr., he just has this character about himself.
He's like that in real life.
Yeah, he makes you laugh, and he gets serious on you, I don't think he's actually playing a character. I just think he's playing himself.
He is.
He's just doing
That's
himself.
what makes it beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
That's what makes it beautiful. So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Captain America Civil War.
Okay, so part 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I hated the fact that they were all fighting each other.
Yeah.
It was just the scene where Captain America and Iron Man are going like fist to fist.
Great stuff.
Man.
Great stuff.
Man, I was sitting there, I was like, no, you can't be fighting Tony, no. But why didn't you tell him you knew that his friend killed his dad? Why?
Exactly.
I mean, I had so many emotions at the end of that movie, and I was like, dang you, Marvel, why y'all messing with me?
That's one of the ones that was so quickly paced.
Yes.
And it just, again, I hate to use this analogy, but it just grabs you. It just grabs you and it says, stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
But a lot of the Marvel movies are like that.
Oh,
you know, they have perfected it where, no disrespect to DC, I love DC also, but man,
they got a long ways to catch up though.
They won't.
Yeah.
They won't. It's too late. I mean, Marvel started this thing back in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
We're 11 years later, and DC has got one good movie to its credit. That was Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman was epic.
It was perfect.
That was it.
It was perfect, and they couldn't miss on that one. If they missed on that one, shut the whole thing down.
Yeah.
Because we've been waiting on Wonder Woman for 75 years.
Yeah.
And
that was great.
I wasn't happy with Gal Gadot as the pick. I thought she's too skinny.
Yeah.
She's pretty.
Yeah.
I just thought Wonder Woman, like in the Injustice games, which I love on the PS3 and the PS4.
Yeah.
I like that Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
She's just enough built.
Yeah.
And just enough pretty and clever and all of that. Like, that's the Wonder Woman I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But Gal really does a great job. She's owned it in every iteration. And she's been in 3 movies now, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
And Wonder Woman 1984 comes out next year.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Really, really psyched about that.
But see, I like her though. I mean, shout out to my wife before I say this. I thought she was beautiful.
She is.
Like, you know, these ladies are supposed to be like Greek goddess.
Right.
Whatever. And
Right.
I think she is like the epitome of that.
And the accent's good.
Yeah, she really dug into this work. And I mean, I really like that. But I didn't like Captain Marvel.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
That one, the music was great.
Yeah, the music was great.
Music was great.
I feel like it was rushed.
There's a disconnect with her.
Yes.
I don't feel any. And it's weird you say this because they're all fictional. How do you say you have a chemistry with a character? You talk about sounding like a nerd, like, wow, Dave, how much of a nerd are you?
Yes.
But there are characters like me and Spider-Man and me and Cap, since I was 4 years old, I've related to them, and they're still my top 2 favorite right now.
Oh yeah.
I get all their t-shirts. I love their characters. Tom Holland now as Spider-Man is the perfect Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big Tobey Maguire fan. I was really loyal to him in that original trilogy that came out. But Tom Holland, dude,
Yeah.
he is Spider-Man. That's how Peter Parker is supposed to be.
Yes.
But getting back to the whole DC Marvel thing,
Yeah, DC got a ways to catch
they do, and they screwed up Aquaman.
Yes.
That could have been so much better. But we're getting on a tangent.
I think they tried to do Aquaman kind of like the first Thor. First Thor was like, I liked it, but I was like,
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I was like, he didn't really have a lot of speaking parts to me.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like he was more muscle and they made him kind of dumb. And I didn't like that. So I feel like with Aquaman, all the ladies love Aquaman. Oh my God, Aquaman.
Oh yeah, he's a good looking dude. Yeah, we
so-
all would love to look like that guy.
Yeah, so, you know, I think they went based off of that. I think that if they focus more on the storylines on a lot of these, it would be great. I mean, I know they're trying to pull and stay true to the comic book.
Right.
That's the part I really love. But you can make some great storylines off of that.
Well, Jason Momoa is a very well-spoken guy. You know, I
Very
mean,
well-spoken.
you watch him in Game of Thrones, and he owned a character and spoke a language that doesn't even exist, and loved watching him from day one.
Yes.
And everything he's done since, he's a very good actor. He's very talented. So I agree with you. It's like, give the guy more speaking lines.
Yes.
Give some more depth to Aquaman.
Yes.
He's not just a dude underwater with a big trident swimming around on the backs of
Sharks.
seahorses and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know, come on. Anyway,
Yeah.
so what was your number 4?
My number
You haven't
4.
said it yet.
Yeah, I said it was Captain America. Civil War.
That's right, Civil War. Number 3. So this verse will start getting really interesting because you know people are like, okay, top 3 means that you feel strongly
Yeah.
about these.
Yeah.
This is hard. Number 3 for me is the original Avengers.
Woo.
Is that in your top 3?
Well, it was in there, but it didn't make the cut.
Oh, you cut it. Wow.
I cut. It was actually a tie between that and Blade. Since Blade was going to be like my number 10, I was doing like 1 through 10. I said, we're going to throw them at that, so I could throw the monkey wrench in the system.
Okay,
But
okay.
the original Avengers was actually my number 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was great to see all those characters, but you know, yeah.
So what's your 3?
My number 3 is Thor Ragnarok.
Okay, and that's a strong one. I
Yeah.
think anybody would respect that because again, that movie. If you have to pick the most fun
Yeah.
movie in all of the MCU, you got that one, and I put it head to head against Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1.
Man,
They didn't make my cut in top 5,
Yeah.
and man, do I love the opening. In my opinion, and you can
That
disagree
song.
with me, the
Yeah.
opening Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
was perfect.
Yes. Do you remember when you were at that football practice I had, North Haven Gym? I started cranking the music on. And
You
I
played that?
That's all
I
played.
wasn't there.
All the kids were dancing. They didn't even know they realized they was tired. Because
a great
they
song.
were just going into the song.
Come and Get Your Love from the 70s. Perfect song.
Oh yeah.
And right away, see, Guardians of the Galaxy is a niche comic. It's not one that most of us grew up even knowing about.
Exactly.
I remember when they made the announcement that they were making the movie, I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
But man, was I wrong.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and even part 2 of that is great, funny, and with David Bautista as Drax.
Yes. I'm so glad he doesn't wrestle no more. He's like, just do that part.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you know, for 2 guys who have gone from wrestling to acting, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and David Bautista, gosh,
Yes.
big ups and respect to them for making that change, because I like them more now than I did as wrestlers.
Yes. I didn't tell you I seen that new movie,
Which one?
Hobbs and Shaw.
What'd you think?
It was decent. It was decent.
It was a thrill ride, I guess.
It was definitely a thrill ride. I felt like it could have been a lot better, but I laughed the whole movie.
Did you?
Oh man, I
The Rock is funny.
Rock is hilarious.
If you haven't watched Ballers,
Oh yeah, I watched Ballers. Yeah.
5th and final season starts tomorrow. You know that, right?
I gotta watch Power though. Oh man.
I want to try to get into that at some point.
Yeah, it's about to end. This is the last series. It starts tomorrow. But man, that's like the only show that me and my wife watch together like faithfully. I think that she's like secretly in love with Ghost. He's like a handsome guy, tattooed up.
Yeah.
She loves that because like usually she wouldn't watch any gangster movies.
Right.
But you see a million women on Facebook timeline, Power's on Power. All of them been watching, and I was like, yeah, y'all looking at Ghost.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
I'll take the back seat to Ghost.
Oh, so while you were on the field last night, I don't know if you know what premiered, season 3 of 13 Reasons Why.
Yes, my oldest daughter started watching it last night, which I couldn't watch because I hadn't watched part 2. I watched season 1, and I
Oh, you haven't seen season 2?
I hadn't seen season 2. She just told me it was very
Wow, dude.
graphic.
Yeah.
Season 2. So I gotta check that. I got a lot, but I'm telling you, the Wu Assassin got me stuck right now.
Okay.
I went and bought AirPods so I can watch Wu Assassin like on my lunch break.
I've got Demi watching Mindhunter, and I think I told you about that briefly. We watched season 2, and now we're rewinding doing season 1, so she can get the background information on that. So Mindhunter, any of you out there who like real thought-provoking dialogue with crime stories, check out Mindhunter. It's based on a true story, based on 2 guys, FBI agents, who actually coined the term serial killer. So good stuff. And actually, they have real characters that they actually spoke to. They talked to Charles Manson. They talked to the son of Sam. They talked to Ed Kemper.
Oh, that's crazy.
Dude, that is, I hate to say, all-star list of killers, even though Manson never killed anybody, but that's beside the point.
That's crazy.
All right, so we're at number 2 now.
It's getting good.
Black Panther for me. That one is the word transcendent.
Yeah.
Along with Blade, you have your African American superheroes. Okay, and it goes without saying the social impact, the economic impact. It was one of the highest grossing Marvel movies. I think when it had lost that title to Endgame, pretty much Endgame took over top movie of all time.
Yes.
But Black Panther and help me with the actor's name again. I can't remember his name. Chadwick Boseman.
Yes, Chadwick Boseman.
Boseman?
Bosick. I'm saying it wrong.
Shame on us for not knowing it.
That's terrible.
Somebody correct us out there. That's fine. Perfect for the role. They had to nail this. This was one of those that the pressure was there.
Definitely.
And they did, and the feel of it, and him in the relationship with his sister, having their own handshake, the music, the acting, it really is as close to a perfect movie as I think you can get for superhero movies. But I have one that is more perfect for my number 1. But what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Iron Man. First Iron Man.
Okay.
And I mean, just basically how it started it all, and how it ended with Tony, and I'm like, man, that's like I think Marvel does this a lot. Marvel is creative in like giving you life lessons in their movies, but you have to pay attention to it. And just like how Tony started from the bottom. I mean, of course he was a rich kid, but being over there making the first suit, getting captured, going through, and then just the dynamics of his character. him not being selfish and actually caring about something. It was definitely neat for me. And the ending was really great when he said, I'm Iron Man.
Exactly. And again, who are we to say it? That's not Robert Downey Jr. himself.
Exactly.
A guy who you really don't know where the acting stops and he begins, and vice versa, and that is the sign of a true actor.
Yes.
Not so much method acting, but he's like, dude, I'm the same guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what killed Blade. They said when Wesley Snipes was doing Blade, he would walk around in full character the whole time on the set. So when they cut scene, he's still Blade.
Right.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And showing the teeth when he smiles, showing the teeth.
Yeah, like come on, man.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I need to watch that again.
Yeah.
And I am worried about the reboot. I am.
I'm definitely worried about the reboot.
And I think you'd be remiss if anybody said they weren't. Now, this guy has a great face.
Yes.
He's got weird eyes.
He's a great actor.
Yes, he is.
Great.
He's got funny eyes. I'm funny about eyes.
Yes.
If I don't see anything behind your eyes, I'm probably going to stay away from you because you're a sociopath. You know what I mean? So, and he's perfect for that. So I'm excited about it, but I'm worried because, again, you really brought up a great point. Blade did start everything, but doesn't get credit for that.
Yeah, it don't.
It doesn't get credit for it because it got lost when it was in an era where we weren't ready for comic book movies yet.
Yes. I mean, I didn't even realize that Blade was like a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
For a
absolutely.
while. I was like, wait a minute.
They don't claim it.
Yeah, they don't. claim
That's
it.
not in the club. You know?
But that got them out of the hole, which really sucks because they had to sell off characters, which is why we're fighting over Spider-Man right now.
I mean, X-Men.
X-Men, all of that. Just imagine if the MCU takes all of those movies and actually create movies.
Imagine if they listen to the fans, God
Yeah.
forbid.
It drives me
You know what I
insane.
mean?
It's like your favorite boxers like would never fight each other. They always guard each other. I want such and such next. Oh, we can't come to terms on agreement. Like, come on, man, let's do it for the fans.
They don't do much for us.
Nah.
And that's, I mean, and I was nerding out the other night. Demi can tell you, I was getting all upset. I said, seriously? She's like, what? She thought it was something that was a big deal. I'm like, they're messing around with Spider-Man again. She's like, you're ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
And they've taken us up and down and all around. It's like, why don't y'all just get over your differences and realize it ain't about you?
Yes.
You know, Stan
want-
Lee is gone.
I don't want another Spider-Man.
No, this is it.
I don't want another character right now.
If they mess this up, just stop. Don't make another one ever again. Because
Yes.
Tom Holland's the man. He's the perfect Spider-Man.
I told you I didn't like the last Spider-Man.
Well, and I wanted to, cause a buddy of mine, shout out to Eddie Jenkins, guy I used to write with at the Knoxville Journal. Love talking to him because he is just as much of a comic book nerd as me, and I mean that with utmost respect. Nerd as in we know what we're talking about.
Yes.
You know, we can actually have these discussions. And he was messaging me back and forth yesterday on Facebook about how he actually has both of the Spider-Man movies in his top 5.
What?
Yes, but he talked about Mysterio,
Yeah.
and I think I said the same thing to you. I said I thought they did as great a job as they could have showing us Mysterio's true character, which is so hard to translate that to film.
Yes.
I think if you go back and watch it again, which I need to when it comes out on DVD, to get a real appreciation for it, because I really don't think you could do anything else. He's such a complicated character. In comic book, you can draw about it. It's easy.
Yeah.
But to get everybody to understand how complicated the character is on film, I don't think you could do any better.
Yeah. I think it wasn't me not liking the movie. I just hate that it was all fake. Like
That's him.
And like I'm fussing about like a fake movie.
That's his character. Yeah. It's like, it's not real, man. It's okay.
But for everything to be like basically like a hologram, and they was using what was those little things you fly? I forgot.
Oh, the drums.
Yeah, they was using the drones. I'm like,
But it's perfect for the time.
But it had some great fight scenes.
Gosh.
I'm like, this is like they could have actually made that the movie, and I think I would have liked the movie more if those characters were like real, that were coming up out of the water, like the water, the fire. I like, now listen, that would be great. I think that was my thing. I was like, wait a minute, at the end?
So you're hung up on that, yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely hung up.
I think if you were just to free your imagination a little bit, you'd
I
be
mean,
okay.
great fight scenes though. When he was going at that water, great fight scenes.
What was the name of the actor? My cousin Garrett's asking me right now. What's up, dude? The actor for Mysterio. I can't remember his name. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal. So I don't have to type it. Hope you heard it. What's up, Danny and Wayne are watching now. Getting a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool people chiming in today. It's time for number one because we got to move on.
Number one
to our top songs of the 90s. So number one, Captain America Part 2, Winter Soldier, dude.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean that one for me. That one for me is the perfect movie, and I'm talking outside of comic book movies. This was a perfect movie in any genre, any year, any time.
Okay.
And I don't give praise like that to anything, but I remember watching that from the moment go, just being so mesmerized by the combat scenes.
Yeah.
That was
Black Panther came in on that one too, didn't it?
No,
No, that was the other one.
but they had a real MMA fighter in it. I can't remember his name now. Gosh, the French Canadian guy who was actually a world champion.
Yeah.
So when you're going head to head, right off the bat, and you've got Black Widow working in tandem with Cap, and they're just flying out of the air. I was like, this is a comic book, and I'm seeing it right here, and it sets up Part 3 with Civil War perfectly.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, dude! And at the end of it, you have Crossbones, who was getting set up. So the setup work from beginning to end, I just thought was perfect. Like I can't say anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it.
I'll give you that one. I'll definitely give you that. That was a great movie. I like all the Captain America movies.
That's the one though.
That's
the one though that any day of the week I'll pick that up and I'll watch that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I got Civil War slightly ahead of that just because of what transpired. And I was like, dang, it all comes to a head.
Right.
And I'm like, no, but yeah, you got some great points. I'm gonna go home and watch them. I'll watch them tomorrow. I got too much to do today. Go Gators.
Yeah. Well, you need to come over watching the game later.
Yeah, go Gators.
So give me your top spot.
All right, my top spot, you already said it, was Black Panther.
Okay. Okay.
I love the storyline, the culture of it. It was great for me as a black man. Growing up, we didn't have superheroes.
Right.
And to actually see that superhero on screen was amazing. And I would go to the movie theaters and I would see all different black people from all different races everywhere had their kids dressed up in African attire.
Right.
And it was just beautiful. And for it to be like the number one selling movie, and I'm like, dang, this is just one character in the movie. I thought it was brilliantly put together, and like I said, it was a message in the movie. With Jordan at the end, it was like, nah, don't put me in no prison. I'd rather just bury me with my ancestors and jump off the ship. And I was like, dang, that's powerful.
Right.
And it was just an amazing movie. So it was definitely transcendent for me. I can't wait to see part 2. And I was like, you cannot mess this up.
Well, and I'm worried about that. See, I know I say I'm worried about a lot of things in movies, but sequels, we were having this conversation.
Yeah.
Dude, sequels don't have a good track record.
No, they don't.
And it doesn't matter what genre that you're talking about. You can go to horror, comedy, drama, go on down the line. I think of very few that actually pulled it off. Rocky was one that was able to do it. Rambo, but Jaws failed. Jaws 2 was okay.
Yeah.
Jaws 1 stands alone.
Yeah. I mean, Terminator was able to do it.
Terminator did okay.
RoboCop drove me crazy.
Oh.
I really like the first one. They did a reboot, and now they're making another one. So.
Of what now?
RoboCop.
They're doing another one. I mean, I saw the one they did a few years ago.
Yeah, they're doing another one. Yeah, that was awful.
Anyway, all right. So one more rundown again. My number 5 was Avengers: Infinity War, tied with Thor: Ragnarok. 4 was Iron Man Part 1. 3 was Avengers Part 1. 2 Black Panther. Number 1 Captain America 2. Yours was what again?
Number 1 was Black Panther. Number 2 was Iron Man. Number 3, well, that was the first Iron Man. Number 3 was Thor: Ragnarok. 4 Captain America: Civil War. And 5. I said Blade, but it was really going to be the Avengers 2012. But I had to throw it in the one direction. So.
Hope you guys enjoyed that part. Feel free to give us your picks throughout the show. We're going to transition into one that I know a lot of my friends I graduated high school with because we are products of the 90s. Most impactful songs of the 90s, your top 10. Now, the thing you say about music, we all are tied to certain songs at certain times in our life.
Yes.
You turn on a song and we all have a different memory of what that means to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, music soothes the savage beast, as they say. When we work out, we have a certain playlist. When we're driving in the car, we got a certain thing, and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about most impactful, and that's when we actually started talking about this last weekend.
Yes.
And it's just one of those things that everybody loves talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not somebody who necessarily pays close attention to music. This is right along with comic book movies with me. I've been out, children of MTV, okay? Grew up watching it. I remember in the house with my mom and dad when I was like 7, I think it was 7,
mm-hmm.
when we got cable.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when we only had HBO, MTV, and CNN.
Mm-hmm.
And I got mesmerized by MTV.
Yes.
I was always listening to the radio, but then all of a sudden I could see the people who were singing it.
Yes.
So that was my genesis of really getting into music. So when you talk about most impactful, the 90s, dude, was arguably the most diverse decade. Now, the 80s was the most fun. Like 1984 for me was the most fun year of music ever. But when you go from 1990 to 1999, and you look at the evolution of where music was and where it ended, holy crap, dude. So if I look at you and I say 1995, what do you think of? What song or what band even?
95. I mean, it was Boys and Men.
Boys II Men, of course. And they were already tailing off at that point.
Yeah, they were definitely tailing off. Yeah, they were definitely tailing off.
This was so hard for me.
I couldn't do a top 10. I just put all my favorite music from the 90s on here.
I did a top 10, but then I did other notables. So I felt like I was hurting the feelings of people I don't even know. Okay? So,
Yes.
And I got to be honest, me and Demi were sitting at the table on one of the weeks we don't have the kids, and it was quiet. We were eating dinner, and I looked up and I was like, hey, let's play a game. She's like, what's that? I said, what are your favorite songs, your top 10 songs of the 90s? She's like, are you serious? Because she's not good with names. She can't remember group names and artist names. And I got out my notepad. I got up, and within, I think it was 3 or 4 minutes, you can ask her, I had a top 10. She's like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I said, I love this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, this is like a dream show for me today where I get to talk about music, Marvel movies, and college football in the same day. Are you serious?
This is a great show.
It's like it's a show on steroids. I started the last one. I want you to start this one. What's your number 10? What's your bottom one?
Oh man, listen.
But this is the thing. Actually, let's not do that. They're not in order. Just throw one out there.
Not in order.
Not in order.
All right. Let me go. I'm gonna go weird first.
Okay.
Because this right here, I had to think about it. I was in middle school, 8th grade, and back then, me and my cousin, we was always on the phone singing to girls. It was like the greatest thing ever. You couldn't tell us we wasn't boys and men. Shout out to my cousin. I can't say his name because we used to play some serious games. But this particular movie had a soundtrack, and on this soundtrack, New Jack City.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I already know where you're going.
So one of my favorite songs off of that album, I didn't even get to Keith Sweat. Oh my God.
Keith was the man.
God.
Keith was the man.
Lord.
There you go, telling me no.
Yes, merry-go-round, all that. Like, I've never seen a man cry like that.
You're about to find out some stuff about me today you didn't even know.
No, I'm going to actually go Color Me Bad.
Ooh.
I want to sex you up.
Dude! You're my man. That's my top one.
See, listen,
I kid you not.
Listen,
That's right there.
Listen, look where it's at on mine.
Look at you. I knew I liked you. Oh my gosh.
Man, like, back then, music on the radio, like I was just used to guys singing about how much they love the girl and how to fall in love or how love has hurt me. But Color Me Bad came out, was like, ooh, I wanna sex you up. I was like, what?
And the hook on it.
Yeah, you sing it on the radio?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, take the pressure off me. The girl looks and you just turn it on like, I ain't gotta say anything.
This was 1991. I was in the 8th grade.
Oh,
was
man.
Killing this song, man.
Dude, I'm shocked that you had that in your top one too. I thought you'd laugh at me for that one.
No.
Well, and it's also too, it was transcended because you look at the group and they're all different colors.
Everybody's a different color.
Hence the name Color Me Bad with an extra D on the end, you know?
Yeah.
So, and that whole album, cassette tape.
Yeah.
And if you throw the cassette tape in, that was one of the few. You could just play it.
Yeah.
And let it go.
All the way through.
I think they had 4 #1 hits off that, dude.
Yes.
Mi Amor and I can't even remember.
I know, they had me running speaking in Spanish in 8th grade. I adore Mi Amor.
You were pimping, dude. You were pimping talking Spanish in 8th grade.
So that was your number. Which one you got?
Yeah, that was my number 1. That was my number 1. And I don't think that one had the most impact per se.
Yeah.
But you're talking, that was the early part of the decade. I think it was 91.
It was 91.
Yeah.
1991.
Okay. Because you said it was on the soundtrack of
New Jack City.
New Jack City, which had Ice Cube on it.
Yeah. Ice-T.
I didn't mean to say Ice Cube. Ice-T.
Yeah, Ice-T, Keith Sweat.
Oh, dude.
It was.
Christopher Williams was even a guy who was a good R&B guy back in the day. Had a hit on that.
Don't wake me.
I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
Don't start singing. You're going to embarrass me. I can't sing.
Yeah, let's go.
I can't sing. Nobody wants me singing. We're always good singers in the car.
What? No, in the shower.
In the shower. Well, I can't even get away with that. Then they make fun of me.
I won 10 Grammys in the shower alone.
You beat Michael Jackson. Yeah. So again, these aren't in order.
Okay.
These aren't in order, but this one I gotta say, arguably, and I don't even know if it would be an argument, but Smells Like Teen Spirit, Nirvana.
Okay.
I don't care where you come from, what your background is.
Yeah.
Dude, that one set a precedent.
Nirvana was major.
Dude, I really think if you put them right here, right now, they're still getting #1 hits.
Yes.
I don't think I'm crazy saying that.
Oh yeah.
They were, I don't even know if they were perfect for the time. I think they were ahead of the time. They took metal music, they looked at the hair bands and they kicked the door down and they said, get out.
Yes.
It's our time now. We're going to scream. We're going to beat the crap out of the drums. We're going to play bass lines and lead guitar like you've never heard. That's a song, dude, that I don't care what you're doing. He put it on, everybody goes, whoa.
Yeah, Nirvana was big.
That sets a tone.
Yeah, Nirvana was major.
I remember hearing that for the first time. I was in the car, and it was one of those, I had just started driving. Again, you talking 1992, might have been 92, 91. I can't remember when that album came out, the Nevermind album.
Yeah.
Nirvana had already started gaining a lot of steam, but that was the album that, boom, put them on the map.
Yes.
That's a music video right there that makes no sense when you got cheerleaders over there, you got Kurt Cobain just ripping the strings off his guitar, screaming, and I remember that song scared our parents.
Yeah.
That song scared the adults going, what is he screaming about? Why is he so angry? But the music behind it.
Yeah.
So, what's the next one you got?
I'm gonna keep it at 1990 with this one right here.
Garrett says it was 94. I'm sorry, go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna keep it 1990.
1990, okay.
Belle Biv DeVoe.
Ooh,
Poison.
BBD. Dude, that's strong.
What?
That's strong.
Yes, listen, you don't understand the cheapness of me and my cousins. You know, we couldn't afford to go get airbrushing, so we would take our clothes and draw on them with markers.
Oh, wow.
And it was graffitied all the way out. Looked like we had took it somewhere.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be Belle Biv DeVoe so bad because they bought a new. It was like the hip hop smooth out and R&B tip. That's what they said.
Yes.
It was like a new jack swing.
It was.
So you take hip hop and R&B and mix it together, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like they're still playing Poison today. When the New Edition movie came out, kids were playing Poison like it had just came out yesterday. Yes. I was like,
well, you know me. So while I was watching you coach last year at North Bay Haven, the girls team, you know I was doing the music, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there in the background, and I love to play games with the fans.
Okay.
And so it's like playing DJ. I'm a closet DJ. You know that about me. So I get my music going. I'm like, ooh, it's time for Poison. And I look around the crowd, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as I hit it, da, 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 you start seeing women start, ooh,
yeah,
ooh. And I'm going, yep, I hit the right one, you know? I don't care, again, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed. That song comes on, you all try to hit that high note.
Oh, yeah.
You can't do it, but that's okay.
Yeah, that note, that was sick.
It is, and nobody else can hit it.
Yeah. Poison.
BBD, yeah. Wow. Next up, this one, this group right here, again, is still making hits, is still traveling, is still all over the place, and is actually a pop culture icon when you see their poster. The Red Hot Chili Peppers with Under the Bridge.
Oh man. Yeah.
This was one that spoke to people who struggle with addiction.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're under a rock, you know that Under the Bridge was about heroin addiction, and Anthony Kiedis's struggle with it. What an interesting guy. Yes. Super talented guy. You know, a bunch of guys jumping around on stage. Anthony Kiedis he's a rapper, dude.
True.
He's a rapper.
True.
And if you're truly into hip hop, he did his own thing and was accepted by the masses. And so, as soon as you hear that hook starting out, it's just one of those that puts you back, dude.
Yes. I like that.
Yeah, that's one of those picks that probably surprised you, right?
Yeah, you got to know that one.
Okay, what you got? What's your next one?
I'm about to mess you up with this one. Working at Taco Casa in the mall. Shout out to everybody used to come out to Taco Casa in the mall. And this song was like non-stop on the radio. And I was singing it to death at the top of my lungs. And you're probably going to be like, you are weird.
What is it?
Jewel, who will save your soul?
You are weird.
What the heck?
What?
That was my song back in 1996, man. I was back there in the kitchen, cooking, washing dishes, and doing all that crazy stuff.
Oh my God.
Every time that song came, who will save? Oh man, I love it.
Shock value on that one.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. That's almost a drop the mic. Just stop the show right now. Just stop it. Just stop it. Oh man, it's hard to follow that one.
Oh yeah.
It's a female, so we'll stick. Actually, that's my next one.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Mm-hmm.
This one could speak for the decade as well. Just like I think Color Me Bad set the tone. Smells Like Teen Spirit could speak for the decade. This one, dude, Dr. Dre, Nothing But a G Thing.
Oh yeah, man. Yes.
Wow. I mean, you put that on. I did this one in karaoke. I told you the story last weekend.
Yeah, you shocked me, everybody.
Dude, I've got to make a comeback. I got to do it again because when it comes on, I still know all the words.
Yeah.
They just come right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And anybody that's around me that hasn't spent time with me and they start hearing me, they're like, "Whoa, you know this?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Listen, we need to do that. We need to do a J.O.B. podcast karaoke night. Everybody get your cameras ready.
Dude.
Y'all let me go a place where we can have that at.
That one might put us on the map.
Hilarious.
That might put us on the map.
Hilarious.
that one, just I remember like that's when I started coaching when I was 17. Yeah. So I would listen to that whole cassette. I'd put it in, and every song for me took me on a story.
Yeah.
Where again, it's not so different then as it is now, where you've got there's a lot of cultural sensitivity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with the riots that were going on in South Central. These guys were legit because they were coming right from there. So you're following NWA, which was already expressive and shocking enough. Big fans of NWA.
Definitely.
Big fans.
My grandmother broke my cassette tape. Actually, it was my album.
Dude,
I was back.
just get goosebumps thinking about the impact that they had on music, not just gangster rap and rap, but on music.
Yeah.
So then Dr. Dre comes out of NWA and says, look, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to do it better. And he did.
To a whole nother level.
And he comes out with this whole sound with the whining in the back, that LA sound.
Mm-hmm.
That the East Coast went, whoa.
Yeah.
And that's how Biggie came up. That's how Jay-Z came up and Puff, which we got to have a show about that some other day. So, I mean, again, just goosebumps thinking about how that impact had on me, where I'm driving to go coach my little middle schoolers. And I told you the story behind it. First time I ever coached, I got all the scraps where my teammates picked the better players. And I think it did something for me. It made me believe in myself to coach these kids. We won the championship, and I got to give credit to the music I was listening to.
Yes.
Music has that kind of power.
Yes, it does.
Where if you're not having a good day, you just put on the right song, dude, and it can turn you right around.
True. Exactly. That's amazing.
Didn't
Not
it?
the Dre, nothing but a G thing. Then Snoop came.
Dude.
They got it's a Snoop song I want so bad. Murder Was the Case.
Oh, yeah.
They don't even sell that album. I was looking for it on iTunes. I gotta find it, but oh man, the video scared the crap out of me.
It's deep,
It is super deep.
and it's still timely now.
Yeah, I mean when he was like, they said it was gonna take a miracle for me to walk and talk again, but anyway, and he steps up out of the wheelchair when he did a live performance, man.
Dude.
I was like, bro, you can't tell me nothing.
We don't have artists like
I
that.
know. I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's got all this cursing in it, but I was like, God is good.
Yeah.
God is real. He's walking and
He's telling it.
All right, I'm gonna go back even further. Well, I'm gonna stay in 1990. And this was back to me and my cousin singing on the phone to the girls. Like, you just gotta set the tone. But it was, this song right here is so impactful, and I still love this group to this day. You probably go on my playlist, it's my playlist right now. But Guy.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Let's chill.
Oh, dude.
Guy, let's chill. Oh my goodness.
I can hear it in my head right now.
Yeah. And I played for you last week. JP or PJ Morgan has done redone "Yearning for Your Love," and I used to listen to that. God, man, it takes me back. So listen, had my first girlfriend back like in the '80s that transitioned from that, and I'll be on the phone singing "Let's Chill" and all that.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, man, listen, those were the days.
They were, and again, that's why I said it takes you back. You know, it allows you to go back without actually going back, and you're like, you just go,
Yeah.
You just move on.
Yeah, I was like,
you know?
where was that little kid at? Where's that kid?
Yeah.
Let's chill.
So my awesome fiance Demi just chimes in. She's like, you know what I was bumping to back in the day? It's not child friendly. And I said, you better stop it with your 2 Live Crew.
I got 2 Live Crew on my list.
Dude.
2 Live Crew is on my list.
So let's go ahead and talk about them because they tie into the Miami sound.
Oh yeah.
The Canes, when you say Miami Hurricanes, you can't say them without saying 2 Live Crew. You talk about Michael Irvin, you talk about Sean Taylor, oh my gosh, the list goes on. Warren Sapp.
Yes.
Because we got some players to talk about when we get to that section today. But 2 Live Crew, dude, they didn't have a lot of talent. Mm-hmm. They were not talented guys. They were nothing to look at. A bunch of ugly dudes, really.
Yes.
But they had the huge gold rope chains.
Yes.
And they got the girls coming up on stage. And it was just like raw.
It was beyond raw.
Dude. And we were young.
Yes.
When this stuff was coming out. And the parents were like, like double eyes, hands over the eyes. And they were the first ones to set the precedent for parental advisory.
They fought the government.
They did.
They fought the
and they
government.
won.
Yeah, they won. That song "Banned in America." I was banned in the U.S.
Oh, well, pick one. Just pick one.
Wait, you know, this is a kid-friendly show.
I'm just saying.
So,
I'm saying pick one that wasn't banned. They were all banned. Dude, they didn't get much radio play. Just like Public Enemy didn't get much radio
no,
play.
they could. So even with the 2 Live Crew, since you're on that, mine, I would take it deep. I would take it even more into that. Poison Clan, JT Money.
Yeah.
I was humongous fan of JT Money. I was like, this dude is like so real. I was in love with JT Money. And then coming from that, even Trick Daddy Dollars. Like that whole genre. Then you got like 95 South.
Oh yeah.
All of those guys. Hey, I didn't even put H-Town down there. Man.
Dude.
Somebody knocking the boots.
H-Town? Oh yeah. H-Town? Definitely.
We would sit in class all day long and just make the beat.
Somebody rocking, knocking the boot. Look at Cousin Garrett with NWA. Yeah, we touched on them. Actually, you know what? They're more of late 80s.
Yeah.
NWA came in 88, 89 with Eazy-E, Ice Cube, who, if you ask me, I know you didn't ask me, I'm going to go ahead and say it. If you ask me, Ice Cube is the most talented writer ever.
Yeah, he wrote all their raps.
He did.
He wrote everybody's rap.
And the guy, even to this day, even though he's become a movie mogul and he's owning basketball teams for the 3-on-3 league, he could still just scratch out a rhyme and put the beats behind it. He was the brains behind NWA, even though Dre had the sound. Eazy-E had the scratchy voice, was the guy from the streets, jumping roof to roof.
But he didn't want to rap.
He didn't want to.
Yeah, he didn't want to rap at all.
But if you haven't seen that movie, Straight Outta Compton,
I was going to ask you, have you seen Straight Outta Compton?
I went to the movie theater to see it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was in there. Like, I was so deep,
dude. And I don't own that. I got to buy that movie. Denny bought me the album, the vinyl. I got the vinyl.
That's classic.
I got that. Proud to say I got that. Next song up, this is a crazy transition. So you went from Jewel, I went to Nothing But a G Thing, went to Guy.
Yeah.
Madonna with Vogue.
Vogue.
Yeah.
I got you.
So, again, another cultural thing here because it was still taboo back in the early 90s to be anything other than heterosexual. Okay? And she brought this whole dance house sound. Madonna, just ultra talented. When you think of any female artist who's a musician, outside of Whitney Houston with her amazing voice, which there's never been a voice like hers. The closest was Mariah Carey, in my opinion. When you're talking about cultural icon, you say icon, that's a very short list.
Oh yeah.
She's on it without a doubt. And so, there you go. I mean, Madonna brought that disco sound and then brought it to house sound, and she brought it in your living room. She was one who was shocking, rolling around on stage with like a virgin in the 80s, and then transcends into the 90s with Vogue. You hear that doom 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 doom, and it's like, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, Madonna was good. I'm looking up. I had to remember the group she brought out. I think the R&B group she brought out was like UNV. I think that was their name. I'm trying to find it.
I don't remember that.
Universal Nubian Voices, yes, was an R&B group out of Detroit.
Okay.
She brought that group out. They had a lot of great songs. So that'll transition to what my other one is. Like, Madonna dated my favorite artist, and nobody really knew about it. Well, she dated a lot of people, but she dated.
We ain't gonna go there.
she was dating Tupac. I think when Tupac had like first went into prison, he was dating Madonna.
Now a lot of people know that.
Yeah. So Tupac, out of all the artists, I think Tupac is my most favorite. He's still like number one on my favorite rapper list. I think like lyric wise, okay, there's a lot of people better than him, but Tupac made you feel what he said.
He did.
So I couldn't even pick a song, and I'll just say one of my favorite albums is All Eyes on Me.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, like
one of the first CDs I ever had was that.
Double album.
Yeah.
And when he came out with this, it was one particular song on the album. I said, he's about to diss somebody. I don't know who it is, but it was Biggie Smalls.
Right.
He gives the song something, gotta be careful doing that. The evil of the money trapping. So when you see me, you better holler at me.
That's
so
right.
He was talking to Biggie. Then he was like, okay, I'm coming.
And that was the start of the East Coast, West Coast beef, too.
Yeah. And how he got out, like, Suge went and bailed him out of prison, which I've never heard of that before. Bailed him out of prison. And for him to come out the way he did on California Love, that second verse on California, like I fast forward through Dr. Dre part, no disrespect.
Yeah.
But when it goes to hot on bail, straight out of jail, California, I was like, woo!
Yeah.
He's not playing. But I watched Snoop Dogg the other day give an interview, because this one guy said he didn't even have Tupac in his top 10 list. He said Snoop Dogg was way bigger than Tupac. Way bigger than Tupac. I mean, and he went on to explain why.
Interesting.
And so Snoop started talking about that. He said, you know, Tupac was my homie. He was like, I met Tupac, and he's like, I told Sugar, you need to go sign this guy. Get him out of prison. You sign this guy.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're gonna put my album on hold. Let's do his album because we eating good over here. He's been signed to RCA or whatever, and they don't know what to do with him. But over here with us, he can eat. So he said, Dr. Dre, don't give me none of those beats. Give them to Tupac. I want Tupac to get this. And then he said, Dr. Dre even gave Tupac California Love.
Right.
And so he was like, we wanted to put Tupac on a whole other level than what he was. He was like, so in California, yes. He said, yeah, I was huge at that time. He said, I owned Death Row at that time. I was a man. He said, but I wanted to share that wealth with Tupac. And Tupac didn't understand how important he was.
No, he didn't.
And he said once he got paid, a lot of stuff changed with Tupac. And you can see in the movie when he was talking to his mom, that was a powerful scene when he came by and he was giving him, he hadn't seen his mom in a while, and she was like, they gonna give you everything you need to self-destruct. They gonna give you everything you need to kill yourself. And sure enough,
she was right.
She predicted it. So Tupac, for me, I could take any album, I could play it from beginning to end because it's always saying, like at a man, just to be, his last album was 23 died when he was 25 years old. Just the stuff that he was saying at that young age was very impactful for me.
Well, prophetic and again, young and so talented. Him and Biggie at the same time.
Oh man.
I think very few of us realized what we had when we had it. I was one of them. I know you were one of them too. It's just so hard to put into words the impact that not only did they have on music at that time, but I don't think they realized what they were doing that was timeless.
Yeah, they was for the culture. They inspired so many people.
They were a movement in and of themselves, and it's a damn shame that they were going to war with each other because they were friends.
Yes.
And because of a botched robbery in a recording studio one night, it changed everything.
Yes.
And it literally blew up in their faces, and within 12 months of each other, they end up murdered.
Yes. And I mean, and Tupac was making amends with a lot of his friends. Same thing Biggie was doing. Like, Tupac went at Nas pretty hard, but Nas loved Tupac.
Man.
So he saw Tupac, went up to him like, hey, what's going on? And they, security got out the way, let us talk like men.
Yeah.
And they talked, and Tupac said, hey, this Machiavelli album, I said some stuff about you, and I can't take it off now because he's like, but we cool. He's like, I'm sorry. And they, they shaped it up, and they never, and he died, so he didn't get to remove a lot of the stuff. But he went at Nas pretty hard. Went at Jay-Z really hard. Him and Jay-Z never made it amends, but it was this one particular song Jay-Z did on Reasonable Doubt. That's on my list too. But it was mainly talking about the King of New York, and everybody was sitting at the table. And Tupac was like, I'm from New York. Y'all ain't have me in the video? Oh, so y'all was the one that got me shot up. So it's going to be me against New York.
Right.
And he made it his personal thing. I wish it wasn't like that. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, like New York didn't kill Tupac. It was actually somebody he beefed with earlier that night. They just never solved the crime.
Well, that was his biggest weakness, was the fact that he was a hothead dude.
Yes, definitely.
He was, what was he, 24 when he got murdered?
25, I think.
Yeah, you're young.
Yeah.
And he had all this money, and he had already been through so many life experiences, too much at that age. He didn't have the right people around him. That's an understatement.
Yeah.
He had all the wrong people around him. And Suge is about as shady as you get.
Beyond shady.
That's a dude that I would go the other way if I ever saw him, because that's just death following behind him.
He's been in prison since the movie was made, straight out of Compton.
Oh, yeah, because
he backed over a guy.
Yeah, he hit a dude.
Yeah. He didn't like the way he was portrayed in the movie. But I gotta end this part with Tupac. I know I've been stuck on Tupac for a while. Tupac was when he got killed in 1996.
Was it 96?
It was 96.
Okay,
He never graduated. That's what made me start rapping. Like, nobody knew I had a rap career.
What?
Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to hear anybody else. I'm Tupac to the core. And so I stopped listening. I started making my own music because I wanted to hear myself. I was like, I want something close to pop. And there was a lot of guys that came out. There was one guy in particular sounded just like Tupac when he came out. And Tupac had all this music, hours and hours of music that was unreleased. So I was just trying to get my hands on that. That's when the internet was starting to come a little bit. I was trying to download. What's the name of that little internet thing? Pirate site.
Yeah.
Still in the music.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Angela from high school, she just said, Tupac is in hiding. I believe he's still alive.
That's what they say.
Man, I wish.
They say he was on an island in, the island is called Rutgers.
Let's just have him and Elvis come out at the same time. How about that?
The island was on Rutgers. It's like Shakur spelled backwards. His aunt, who's actually the only woman that was on the FBI's most wanted list, was actually hiding in Rutgers.
If anybody could pull it off, it'd be Tupac. You know?
But listen, I would be hot. I'd be like, man, you robbed me of all those years. I didn't have to rap. I could have just listened.
I know, right?
But then I'll let you know what my next one is, because Tupac death. I'll tell you the artist I started listening to after Tupac died.
Okay. Well, see, this whole time it was a perfect segue when you said California Love, because that was the next one I had on my list.
Okay.
So that was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about Biggie, Hypnotize.
What?
Dude. You know, again, you can't say Tupac without saying Biggie, and you can't say Biggie without saying Tupac. They're like this.
Yeah.
They're intertwined.
At the hip.
What's that next one for you?
So after my next one was Biggie, but after Tupac, I was so mad with Biggie because that's who he was in beef with. I was like, I'm not listening to this. I'm not listening to it. Then Biggie dies. I'm like, dang it, dog. I didn't want him to die. So after that, I started listening to Master P. I really got into No Limit Records.
Never liked him.
And then Cash Money. Oh man.
Never liked him.
Listen, the album Ghetto Dope. Listen, that is a classic. Oh, it's a classic.
I need to do some research on that.
It is a classic. I mean, of course, the whole No Limit is on there. But the first song, Make Crack Like This. You have to think about where I was at my particular time in my life. They actually gave you the instructions on how to make crack. C-Murder was rapping about how to make crack. I was like, how was this song even being played? It was hilarious to me. But then he had a song, I Miss My Homies, and everything he talked about, he was mainly saying rest in peace Tupac, and I think that's why I got so caught up into it. But oh man, Ghetto Dope was a classic album, and the Ice Cream Man album. He had a song on the
Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, this song is called Break 'Em Off something, and Master P just come in like hustler, baller, gangster. Who I be, your neighborhood drug dealer. I was like, yes, this was raw, rugged.
That is raw.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I love this. And he was talking, he got one part of the song, I don't curse now, but in the song, he was like, don't make me wear your, and he basically said tail, but he said the other word, don't make me wear your tail like some 85 Wranglers. And I was like, you know, I remember those 85 Wrangler jeans that my grandmother got me that just,
didn't fit right.
They didn't fit right.
They didn't fit right. Yeah.
You had to try to sag. But Master P, that little time, I'm staying in Tallahassee at that particular time. I think we played every car I passed by was playing that album, Ghetto Dope. It was a classic. He could never get over that hump because that album was just that good.
It was too big, yeah.
And I think he put out so much music, so much fast with so many artists. He just diluted the whole system. Everybody had an album. His grandmother had an album.
Yeah, he oversaturated the market. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Next, TLC, Waterfall.
Oh yeah.
I mean, again, that one when that comes on, TLC was a huge group. They impacted everybody, male, female. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Their first two albums were just off the charts good.
Mm-hmm.
Timeless stuff.
Crazy, sexy, cool.
Oh, dude.
Oh man.
That's another one. You just put it on.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
And not to mention, like everybody in the group was beautiful.
Yeah, and they could all dance.
Yeah.
And their voices were all so different.
Yeah. The crazy part, Chili still looks the same.
Yeah, she hasn't aged very much now. T-Boz.
Yeah, T-Boz has got some medical issues and stuff. And then Left Eye was like, I was laughing at one of my coaches this week was talking about one of our kids and his girlfriend and how the girlfriend was crazy. And he was like, man, but the fun girl, I mean, the crazy girl is always the fun girl. Like, you date the crazy woman.
Andre Rison would know about that.
Like, she burned the whole house down.
She did.
And
she was a little bit mad that day.
Yeah, I've been looking at this one guy. He was a self-proclaimed doctor, Dr. C.B. Dr. C.B. has basically said that he cured AIDS, cured a lot of them, and they had to bring patients in because the FDA sued him for him saying that. They're like, we need you to bring in some patients with proof. And he brought in those patients and proved that he had actually cured them. And Lisa Left Eye was always in Honduras with him. He helped her get over her drug addiction and everything. So when she was on a spiritual walk, she was over there. And he said one of the things he made her do was like fast for 40 days and for 40 nights.
Wasn't that the last thing that she did? She documented it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. She had went over there, she got cured, and she always kept going back. So she went over there this particular time and was driving and got into a wreck.
Okay.
Her truck flipped over, something of that nature. But yeah, she was always in Honduras to see this doctor, Dr. C.B.
Dr. C.B.
Yeah,
You just reminded me of Aaliyah. I don't know, I guess because of
man.
losing somebody young right at their peak. Aaliyah is somebody who, she did she get on my, yeah, she did get on my list. She was on my notable part, If Your Girl Only Knew.
Yeah, mine too, for one in a million.
Oh, dude. Dude.
1 in a million.
Yeah, the beats and how that one hits in the car.
And I'm gonna tell you, MTV used to be here for spring break like every so.
Oh yeah, Panama City.
Yeah, I had the luxury of going, so we seen Aaliyah, Foxy Brown, Monica. I was in love with Monica at the time. Monica still looks the same too.
Aaliyah was probably the prettiest one
Aaliyah
that I can remember out of that time.
Yeah, but I think about her and I think about R. Kelly. Like, if R. Kelly wasn't in prison right now, R. Kelly would probably be like on my top everything. R. Kelly,
he was good, dude. He
yeah,
was.
it's like now his music come on the car. Do you listen?
I know you're conflicted about
yeah,
it.
like I was like, let me put R. Kelly gospel out album on. Jesus.
I know you feel like your skin's burning a little bit. Let's try to move a little bit quicker. We're definitely stalling. These couple, I've got a couple throwaways, I think, but as far as music sales and impact that they had, this next one with the grunge movement, Pearl Jam, with Jeremy. That one was talking about a young boy who was a violent child.
Mm-hmm.
It was a song around suicide.
Yeah.
Obviously, way ahead of its time because we're dealing with more suicide issues now in youth. Issues at the ages between 10 and 24.
Yeah.
Are the highest that they've ever been right now with suicide.
Yeah.
So that's a song that could actually come out again now.
Yeah.
And could actually help kids.
True.
If it's crazy to think it could help kids, but music has that way about letting your anger out, and you don't have to hurt anybody. Just go sit in a room, get your anger out, listen to the song, and understand that it's poetry. All music is poetry.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it starts.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the beats that you hear. It's not even about how it really sounds. Are you reading and are you listening to the poetry? And I say reading. I know kids don't read the lyrics now, but when we used to get these CDs, you had the flap that came out.
Oh yeah.
And if you really wanted to be able to sing in front of your friends and rap and get that song right, get that lyric right, you got to look at the notes.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one I had on there was Friends in Lower Places with Garth Brooks.
True.
You like your country music.
Yeah.
That guy put country music on its head, and he was like a rock star.
I know, and like, where did his gray hair come from? Like all of a sudden, I'm like, you see Garfield.
He got old.
He got old.
He just got old.
Hey, my friend Robert also said, like, don't forget Biggie, Juicy.
Oh yeah, heard that on the radio just yesterday.
Yeah, Juicy's classic. Juicy's classic. I know we need to end this, and I'm gonna say, I definitely would have had Monica Miss Thing on there. John B.
Dude, I love John B.
John B was ridiculous. The song with him and Tupac.
Love John B.
And Tyrese, I paid attention to him singing the Coca-Cola commercial. Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, and Drew Hill had a song on their album called Come Share My World.
Uh-huh.
And when I heard that song back in like 97, I said, I'm gonna get married to that song. She's gonna walk down the aisle to that song.
Drew Hill was good.
Sure enough, my wife walked down to the aisle with that song.
That's awesome.
And she was like, where did you get this old song? I was like, I'm just weird like that.
Well, I mean, again, power of music. You're like, if I ever need this song,
Yeah, this is it.
I'm reserving it for this moment.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know it when you hear it.
Oh yeah.
You know it when you hear it.
You know instantly.
I'm gonna fire away some at you. I'm gonna say these. I'm gonna second to pause in between. Okay.
All right.
This is my notables list, and I've already mentioned one of them. You can't touch this. MC Hammer.
MC Hammer. Best concert I've ever been to in my life.
I'm jealous. Mine is playing tricks on me. Ghetto Boys.
I got them down here.
Do you?
Yes.
Mama said knock you out. LL Cool J.
My head is like a shorts, man.
Dude. Killing in the Name from Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, Rage Against the Machine.
Protect Your Neck, Wu-Tang Clan. Dude. Basket Case by Green Day.
Okay.
Gin and Juice, Snoop Dogg.
Mm-hmm.
We all know it. You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it.
That was the women's movement in the 90s now. Just a Girl by No Doubt.
Yeah.
Killing Me Softly, Fugees.
I got that. That was like my second list.
If Your Girl Only Knew Aaliyah.
Yeah.
And My Name Is Eminem.
Yeah, you gotta end it with Eminem. And I'm gonna let that ride. Eminem, classic.
Mm-hmm.
That album was sick. I was like, who is this dude and why is he rapping like this? He was a
Discovered by Dre of all people.
Oh my gosh. Dr. Dre, Mr. NWA.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was, and I think I had like, but this one song is not from the 90s though.
Oh, are you cheating again?
Well, listen.
Come on.
This song right here is timeless. And I used to date a girl back in like 7th, 8th grade. She was in love with this dude, and I always talked about it. I was like, I don't think he likes women. She was like, yes, he does. Tevin Campbell.
Oh, yes. Which one?
Can we talk?
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yes.
Take me there.
Strawberry Letter was a good one, too.
Strawberry Letter was good, too. I mean, like, you think about it, the 90s is timeless. I tell my daughter that all the time. And she was like, no, this is the best generation. And I was like, your generation copies my generation.
It does.
Like, look at your shoes.
Sorry.
90 Air Max.
Sorry.
You know, like, y'all copy us. I wish y'all would copy us in music because I don't understand.
That would be the highest form of a compliment right now.
Listen,
you know?
Listen, yesterday, football team, they let them play music before the game. All I heard was, I was like,
yeah.
This is how my grandmother felt when I was listening to music back in the days. This is really
But you can understand ours, though.
Yeah, it drives me insane. So we can transition from football.
It is time for football, everybody. I want to say one thing. That has been so fun. I've got so much feedback over here about the music and the movies, but mainly the music. Thank you so much, guys, saying that you love the show. People actually are remembering how they used to rap to these things.
Yes.
And this is so entertaining. I'm loving it. So I don't blame anybody if you're tuning out the football part, if you're not a football fan, but please stick with us because it's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're going to try to get through it.
Florida, Miami. Wow. 1987 was the year where the series originally ended. They had been playing this thing, I believe, from 1938 all the way to 1987. I know a lot of you don't even care about football that happened before 87. That was Emmitt Smith's freshman year with the Florida Gators. I know you don't like Emmitt. We'll talk about him in a minute. But the whole reason that we brought this up was, why is this series important for college football? And in a few minutes here, we're going to go and run down a bunch of names that I'm sure a lot of you, and you may not even remember, dude, how many impactful names have come out of UF and Miami alone and have gone to make their imprint in the NFL. But just as college players, the stuff that they did, we haven't seen since.
You're right.
College football doesn't look like it used to, and that's good and bad in some ways. The guys are bigger, stronger, faster now.
Yes.
You and I went back and forth on a short message yesterday because you showed me a video of Deion Sanders, who was sitting back while he was coaching. Well, I cannot believe the guy is actually coaching. I know he coaches in high school. And he was saying, and he was contradictory to himself, which that's a side note, but he was saying that the kids haven't changed, but the coaches have. Now, my point in saying that is, yes, the kids have changed. The athletes have changed. And how they've changed is not so much for the better. When you say Miami, You think 80s, but you also think late 90s, early 2000s. They were killing people. They went out on the football field to not just beat you, they wanted to embarrass you.
They want to destroy your life.
The Gators, on the other hand, were nobody before 1990. Even when Emmett was there, Emmett was the entire football team. They didn't have a passing game. Steve Spurrier shows up in 1990, fun and gun, airing it out, and all of a sudden people are like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Florida, the state of Florida is where it's at because FSU had already been good. Bobby Bowden had already been holding it down. You talk about Florida, Miami, though, it's a different look than FSU, Florida, FSU, Miami, because I really think, and I could be wrong, I really think this is actually more of an exciting, more of a sexy matchup than FSU, Florida, than FSU, Miami, simply because of this. We don't get it every year.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I would definitely say it's a more interesting matchup, especially right now, because it's just something about Florida football. Florida football to me is amazing. I would put Florida football against anybody. And I always tell people that hey man, my team out in my USC team, this team, listen, we play football in Florida. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, we play football right here in Florida.
Absolutely.
But it is definitely, I think, a more sexier matchup because Miami back in the late 80s, 90s, nobody wanted to play Miami.
No, they didn't.
Miami was sick to a whole nother level. And I'm just telling you, my favorite ESPN, what was it, the 360?
All about the U.
Is the U. And I'm like, man, I'm a huge Gator fan. But just watching that, it was one particular scene. I think Miami went to play, was it a national championship game? I think they went to play Texas or somebody.
Oh, which year are you talking about?
I forget what year it was.
Was it early 2000s?
No, it was like 90 something. But anyway, I think they were beating Texas. They hopped off the plane with camouflage pants on.
Oh, you're talking about Penn State.
Penn State. Okay.
That was back in '84.
Well, they threw it, like they was blowing Penn State out. And the coach called a play, and it was a run play, and the receiver said, no, throw a pass. So he threw a pass. He said, it's not my fault that he threw the pass.
Yeah.
It's not my fault that the end zone had a tunnel that I wanted to run through after I caught the touchdown.
Oh, you're talking about Randall Thrill Hill. Randall Hill. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Listen.
And he danced after he got it, yeah.
Yes, ran straight through the alley, ran out the door. And so they came out with a rule book based off of Miami Hurricane football. No dancing, no gyrating, no doing anything. And all the guys thought it was funny. It's like, why don't you say Miami football, don't do this?
Exactly. Well, yeah, and if you haven't seen that 30 for 30, that's what you're talking about.
God.
It was so good they made a part 2.
Yeah.
That I'm glad you brought that up. The U part 1 is still the highest rated, most watched out of all the 30 for 30s.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that, unfortunately, it's only available on ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
That's the only place you can find it now. That is one I would actually buy because Luke Campbell from Two Live Crew actually came out with his own song that all about the U. That is the soundtrack behind that. Shoot, Two Live Crew was the soundtrack behind Miami Hurricane football.
Everybody dressed like that. The big gold chains. Come on, man. Come on.
Again, that's another fun show that we're definitely going to do because college football reminds me and intertwines with music.
Yes.
If you put college football and music together, we can have another fun show. In fact, we're going to do that.
Yes.
We got to do that.
Yes.
So in a few moments here to wrap up today, we'll preview the game for tonight because it's got a different feel. But I wanted to throw some players out at you. It's kind of like a rapid fire thing. I'm going to say you're going to know the school. I say Sean Taylor. What do you think?
Greatest cornerback of all time.
I agree with you. 100%.
That boy would hit you like he didn't care if a truck was coming for him. Sean Taylor was a bad boy.
Greatest pure athlete, I think, that we've ever seen coming out of this series.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if that's arguable.
I think I would also say the last real Pro Bowl that had meaning, Sean Taylor played it.
Yeah. Well, and if you pull up that clip where he lights up the kicker.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. Everybody else stopped playing football Sean Taylor was like, no, every time I put this helmet on, it's about business.
Yeah.
That was just a life that was taken from us too. So no, man, I would love to see
It breaks your heart because they did a football life on him, which pull it up on YouTube. If you don't know about Sean Taylor, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you did, because he was almost Bo Jackson-esque, where he was a shooting star.
Yeah, he was.
And everybody's like, who is this guy? He was that kind of person where he shocked even the hardened sports fan like me.
Yes.
Who, you know about all the guys, you know about all the numbers, you know this team and that team, but Sean Taylor comes out, and not only at Miami is he making highlights, he goes to the Redskins, and one of those guys that changed his number, but you still looked for him. He went from 36 to 21. He's remembered as number 21.
Mm-hmm.
You say Sean Taylor, though, and you actually can measure a person's barometer on football knowledge. If they don't know who Sean Taylor is, I'm like, you don't know anything about football. I'm sorry, I can't talk to you.
It's a problem.
On the other squad, I say Fred Taylor.
Oh man, great running back. I'm glad my skills are up to date.
Yeah, look at you.
You're gonna throw out a name.
Yeah, you gotta be sharp.
You're gonna throw out a name that I don't know. That's coming. Fred Taylor was amazing though. I wanted his son to be what he was, and it's hard a lot of times for our kids to duplicate what we have.
It doesn't happen.
All the Jacksonville fans, y'all should really love Fred Taylor. Fred Taylor carried y'all for a while, put you on the back.
Him and Mark Grinnell put him on the back.
Yeah, so Fred Taylor was a great player, very great player.
Fred Taylor is close to my heart, not because I'm a Gator fan, because I'm not. Shout out to USF. Fred Taylor to me was with the Jaguars when I was there back in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And even talking about it just makes me feel a kind of way where
you know him personally.
I do. I know he doesn't remember me, but I walked up to his locker because he was a part of my story assignment I was doing for Game Day magazine, and it's when Steve Spurrier was coaching the Redskins, and the Redskins were coming to town.
Oh man!
So I had to ask Fred. I'm like, give me your thoughts about playing for Steve and all that. Dude, Fred was so laid back.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, he'd already been All-Pro.
Mm-hmm.
He had already just been lighting up 1,000-yard seasons one after another, and he had put Jacksonville was out there. The whole AFC was on notice.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I probably sat with him 15, 20 minutes. And by the time I was done, he's like, there's nothing else? He wanted to talk more.
Yeah, Fred Taylor's a good guy.
He really is. He loved the game of football. He appreciated my job that I was trying to do, where a lot of guys were running from me.
Yes.
A lot of guys were trying to throw me in the cold tub. And I'm like, please don't do that. And luckily, the worst treatment I got in the Jaguars locker room was I had a cup of ice was dumped on my head. It was one of those hazing things that they do.
Fred Taylor.
I'm gonna save a couple of these names, and I'm gonna cut this in half because look at my list. I'm gonna show this list to everybody. This is long and distinctive.
Oh man.
Let's keep it to where most people know the name. Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp was an icon. The way he played the defensive tackle position was like
Hall of Fame.
Man.
Hall of Fame.
But then I hated what happened to him in his latter career when he got in trouble.
Going to the Raiders.
Yeah, well, going to the Raiders was fine, but when he became when he was on was it NFL?
NFL Network?
Yeah, he got caught up in some stuff, which sucks now.
He makes some bad decisions.
For as much as I loved him on the football field, I loved him as an announcer because he was sitting there.
Oh, he knows football.
Yeah, he had the bip in his mouth, like we were talking about. He was an old school coach. I would crack up laughing at him, but he is definitely missed. One of the big first guys I seen with braids in his head.
And that's how they have him enshrined in Canton.
Yeah,
he's got the cornrows.
Yeah, but he was unblockable.
Well, for you Buck fans out there, shout out to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Without Warren Sapp, we don't go to the Super Bowl and we don't win the Super Bowl. And it's easy. You can say, okay, without John Lynch and without Rondé Barber and without Derek Brooks.
Yeah.
The defense made
that legendary team.
I'm telling you. And we only got one title out of that.
Yeah.
Should have had 3.
Yeah. I think they kept Dungy.
Stop it now.
They could've kept
Now,
going.
I'm going to tell you this. Since you brought him up, since you did it, I'm going to go in on you now.
It's a Tampa Bay fan. I can't tell him anything right here.
Hey, all credit in the world to Tony Dungy to get us.
He assembled the team.
To get us on the winning track. And they even say that in Warren Sapp's A Football Life. Derek Brooks is on there.
Yeah.
And they both say, look, without Tony, we don't even get to the status where we can compete in the NFC Championship against the Rams that year.
Mm-hmm.
When we should have beaten the Rams to go against the Titans in the Super Bowl. Tony didn't have one thing, dude. He didn't have the edge.
Yeah.
John Gruden comes in, and yes, he had bad language. But you know what? You have to have the edge in the NFL. You're dealing with big, grown men who don't necessarily need a father figure at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Dungy could go into any college and turn a program around because he's a father figure.
Mm-hmm.
He is a wonderful man. He is a good man. He lost his son. You know, he has lost a son, and he has gone through all those battles. I read his first book that he came out with. Great Christian man. I love him to death. Tony Dungy, all the respect in the world. I have nothing bad to say about him. The only thing I said that is actually true is the fact that he just couldn't get him over the hump.
Yeah.
And John Gruden came in. He was the perfect man to do that. He lit a fire under Warren Sapp.
Yeah.
He said, look, if you're so good on defense, why don't you score a touchdown? That was the exact quote.
And he did.
And he did. That same season, Warren goes out there, picks up the fumble against the Falcons, looks to his left, state of Florida buddy there, Derek Brooks, hands it off. Derek runs in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
You had never seen football like that for the Bucs before.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was on a whole other level. John Gruden is not the same guy no more, though.
He's not.
Yeah,
He's not.
His ego and Antonio Brown ego is on the whole same level right now.
But man, is it entertaining, dude.
It's definitely entertaining watching Hard Knocks. But
So you did start watching it?
Yeah, but it's going to be crash and burn.
It is.
I just don't. Antonio Brown,
John has had to change with the times, unfortunately.
yeah, and it's sad. I think that's what Dion was really trying to get to, but he didn't illustrate it right. But Antonio Brown is the player that you probably don't want any of your players coming up watching. I wouldn't want him to groom any of my receivers. Just his attitude wise, the way he's going, like, I'm like you. I love guys that respect the game.
Yeah.
If you don't respect the game,
Then don't play the game.
yeah, it bothers me. So,
Yeah.
But that's on a whole other level. Sorry.
Let's go with a couple Gators. I'm going to hit you back to back because these guys played together on the exact same team, and that's Tim Tebow and Percy Harvin.
Whew. I thought you were going to say Aaron Hernandez.
No. Well,
he was there too.
he was.
Oh,
He
man.
was so good.
Listen,
He was so
when
good.
I went down to the coaches clinic, Tim Tebow, Percy Harvin, they have a drill where, like, against offense against the defense, it's only like, I think it's like 3 on 3.
Uh-huh.
So if the offense scores, the defense loses a point. All defense has to stop the offense. And it was Tim Tebow, Percy Harvin running the option. And they said,
And how do you stop that?
they said they never lost.
You
They
can't.
didn't lose at all. So defense always got tore up. But man, Percy Harvin, whole nother level, just speed wise. I wish they had a thing they could have done to fix his concussion. I would love to see him more in the NFL. Tim Tebow, though, I think nobody was bigger as a Gator than Tim Tebow. And Tim Tebow he's just that kid that says, give me the ball and I'm going to win for you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a shame when you get to the NFL, everything is so technical. Your throwing rhythm, your throwing motion has to be this. I want somebody on my team that's going to win. I would have took Tim Tebow anytime. But the thing is, they were just like, oh, he's vanilla. He can't throw the ball. Well, show him the system you want him to learn.
Right.
And he's such a winner, he'll go out and do it. And he threw it, changed his whole throwing mechanics. But it just seemed, at that particular time, it seemed like NFL wanted the bad guy. They didn't want the good guy that had the great message. And it was so much, they said baggage would come to him, like the media was there everywhere. Tim Tebow made moms watch football.
He did.
Because they said, I want my son to be like this guy. He put the NFL, college football on a whole other level. I would love to see the numbers that his jersey made for the University of Florida.
I'm going to say this. The NFL doesn't deserve Tim Tebow.
Nope.
and I don't think many people agree with me, and people can disagree with and hate on me all they want to, but I have been a Tim Tebow fan since the moment I saw him.
Yes.
And again, I am not a Gator fan, but the fact is there are some players, it doesn't matter who you root for, you have to root for them, or you're just not a good person.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how you can't root for a guy like him who puts himself last in everything he does.
Exactly.
He goes up to little kids who have so many physical and mental ailments and will take time out of his day, fresh off of getting beaten up on the football field, and smiles, hey, how you doing, man? You're doing great. And lifting them up and all the things he does for charities.
He has a prom every year.
He does, yeah.
All special needs.
He does.
All over the U.S.
He goes arm in arm with these girls and they get all dressed up and I get emotional talking about him because number one, he's my son Davis's favorite athlete. And I told my son, I was like, you know what, I'm proud of you for understanding that he's somebody you should look up to.
Exactly.
He's not in the NFL, and that's okay, because you know what? He's doing his thing outside of it. The NFL doesn't deserve him. It wasn't ready for him, and that's fine. But as far as impact as a Florida Gator, and I don't have to be a Gator fan to say this, I think, in my humble opinion, he is the best college football player of all time.
Yeah.
I put him up against anybody, anytime, anywhere. If I need one play, and I need a guy, I'm going to put it in his hands. I don't put any defense all time. Bring him. I will take him any day of the week because he's going to get me in the end zone. Whether he's doing his jump pass, whether he is tucking it and running it, whether he is bowling you over. Tim Tebow's going to get in the end zone. He's going to congratulate you even though you didn't get him in the end zone. I love the guy. Timmy T, all the way, any day of the week. Love him. Like if I had to adopt a Gator, even though I'm not a Gator fan, he would be the ultimate one. I'll throw a couple more out here. We got to get into our preview of the games. I know we're running long.
Yeah, we're always 35 minutes.
Wow, we're running long. I know I'm having fun. I think everybody else is having fun. We even have Coach Corbin, the varsity coach for North Bay Haven volleyball. Is chiming in today, and because he's a big Gator fan.
All right, Coach.
So not surprised he's in the house, and I gave him a big shout out. Good luck to the North Bay Haven volleyball this year. All best wishes. They got a lot of great athletes there, and Coach, you do a great job. Yeah, absolutely. A couple more players. I'm just going to be kind of arbitrary here. I'm going to throw them out. I'm going to say on the Miami side, Devin Hester. Arguably the greatest kick returner that we've ever seen at any level.
Ever.
And another Miami guy, this is the last one I'm going to say, Jeremy Shockey.
Okay.
He was in my post from yesterday.
Yeah,
on the Florida side, his counterpart, who was just as shocking, unfortunately, off the field, was Aaron Hernandez, R.I.P.
Oh, man.
Made Tim Tebow look really, really good as a passer because he caught everything.
Yes.
And another Gator, I'm going to say, oh boy, I guess you can't say Florida without saying Steve Spurrier, not only as a player, but as a coach, because he won the Heisman Trophy. Without Steve Spurrier, we're not talking Florida Gator football today.
No.
We're just not.
No.
Period.
No. You didn't say Emmett?
Well, I know you have a special place in your heart for Emmett.
The toilet. That's where Emmett.
And it's funny because you and I have two different stories. So I didn't know this yesterday until when I posted, if for those of you that are keeping track of the Facebook feed this week and hyping the show, I put Emmitt Smith on there in his Gator uniform. Ty says, I don't like Emmitt Smith. I said, what? I'm like, you're a Gator fan. He's like, yeah, he didn't sign an autograph for me. And I said, that's weird because he signed an autograph for me.
Yeah.
I sent his 1990 rookie rushing NFL title off in the mail. This is back in the day when you could do that. And he sent it back. Now, if you ask me where I know where it is, I don't. I have misplaced that along the way. It's probably worth some money. Don't know.
Definitely worth some money.
But I understand where you're coming from.
But listen, I understand where Emmett is coming from because anybody that knows me knows that I'm passionate about Rutherford High School.
Yes.
All right, so listen, I'm such a Rutherford High School fan that my NFL team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, are also black and gold.
Yes.
So when I got to Rutherford, I was like, man, I'm looking for a team. I was kind of like a Buffalo Bills fan. I just didn't know. And I was like,
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that's when they had Thurman Thomas with the earring and all that. I thought that was wacky.
Four straight Super Bowl losses.
Yeah, but I was a huge Steelers fan. And I was like, man, black and gold, Rutherford, Steelers, black and gold. So I understand where Emmitt Smith was coming from. So he played for high school in Pensacola.
Escambia High.
Pensacola, Escambia. And of course, Rutherford was beating the brakes off of everybody back then. And so he was at one of the games. We're like, hey, Mr. Smith, can we get your autographs? And he was like, I'm not signing no Rutherford autographs.
He actually said that? No wonder you don't like him.
Hey, listen, I can respect it though. I can respect it because I love my high school. It's crazy. People ask me all the time, like, what school you went to? And they're talking about college. First thing I'm going to say is Rutherford High School. How you know? And they're like, no, what college? Oh, you meant college.
It's like they do on Monday Night Football with some of these guys.
Yeah. Rutherford High School. Thank you very much. Go Rams.
That's like Randy Moss used to do. He didn't give credit to Marshall. Mm-hmm. He'd say Rand University. Everybody's like, Rand University?
Yeah.
That's a small town in West Virginia.
Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah.
Little fact there, but yeah, I mean, dude, that's not cool that you won't sign an autograph for a high school kid. You're already in the NFL at this point. You're well established.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. Yeah. So, yeah, well, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at him then because since you opened that up, and I mentioned this to you yesterday, that's okay, Emmett. You ain't the greatest running back of all time. I don't care if you got the number one rushing yards. You know, you only got that because Barry Sanders retired.
This is true.
I'm just keeping it real, dude. I'm keeping it real. Anybody who knows anything about football will agree with me and say the minute Barry Sanders left, Emmett's going, oh, shoot, I got this locked up.
Man.
Because we both know that Barry Sanders was stopped with 18,000 yards.
Yes.
Maybe even 20,000.
And he could have got that easily.
Because he had just gotten his 2,000-yard season 2 seasons before he left.
Yeah.
He pulled a Jim Brown on us and left at the peak of his career after only 9 years in the league.
Like, well, how bad is Detroit management to let him just go away? Because he was like,
they never gave him anybody, dude.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just done.
He had one receiver. He had Herman Moore.
Well, think about it. Megatron just left too at the peak of his career.
Imagine if he had Megatron on the team with him. Imagine if you ever gave him a freaking quarterback.
You're right.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
You're right.
Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, 1 and 1A. Those are your greatest running backs of all time.
Hey, I do got to say this though.
Go ahead.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have looked real good in the postseason.
In preseason?
I am really impressed with Jameis Winston. Never was a Florida State fan. Don't get me wrong. And I know Jameis has been like interred, like his whole thing, but like just to see him now, how poised he is in the pocket, he's not saying much, not doing much. I think new coach, new offensive coordinator. I think Tampa Bay might be headed in the right direction. But this is his year to show if he's going to be able to play for Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
He's at the end of his contract. He's like, this is it.
They're going to trade him if not.
Well, they better.
Yeah.
Because you have the best receivers in the league.
Yeah. I don't know what stock value he has in the NFL right now, though. He might find himself.
If anybody can turn him around, it's Bruce Arians, new head coach.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians is the quarterback whisperer. He coached Peyton Manning as a rookie. Mm-hmm. He coached Kurt Warner with the Cardinals, resurrected his career. Bruce Arians, I love the guy. I got nothing bad to say him. He's the one that says, no risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah.
And I love a guy who's like, you know what? I'm putting my everything out on the field. Hey, credit to y'all last night. I looked at Demi when y'all did the fake punt. Mm-hmm. I called it, just want to say. Moments before I saw North Bay Haven lining up, I saw y'all lining up, I'm like, oh, I need a fake punt right here.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm patting myself on the back. I called it. And when you ran it, I stood up and clapped. I'm like, that's aggressive football.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. Don't be afraid. Man, when the lights are on and you got nothing to lose, go out there and do what you think you can do. Show confidence in your team. Yeah. And y'all did that last night. So yeah, if anybody can do that with Tampa Bay, Bruce Arians is the guy that can do it. This is his last ride. He came out of retirement to do this. Mm-hmm. He's got something to prove. And if a coach comes out as old as he is with something to prove, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic though, because dude, we haven't been to the playoffs since 2007.
Mm-hmm.
That Super Bowl is a long time ago now, back in 03.
Mm-hmm.
So Jameis has so many skills.
Mm-hmm.
He is ultra talented. If he'd shut his mouth and just go play, because he talks too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see this let's eat a W stuff.
That was dumb.
That was one of the worst things that could have possibly. I mean, I'll never forget that. I mean, that made all of us Bucs fans look really stupid.
I know.
You don't do that. You don't, and you can't take it back.
Hey, listen, I would rather have those theatrics than Antonio Brown.
I agree.
Antonio Brown is a straight jerk and doesn't respect the game at all.
Well, and I'm sure that you don't miss him on the Steelers, even though without him,
he was great. Now, great player.
He was
great player, but I've never seen the most selfish individual.
He beats Terrell Owens on the selfish meter, and that's a lot.
A whole nother level.
That's a lot.
This helmet going on right now.
He's going to lose that again.
Yeah, I mean, he's already lost it several times.
It's just his second. It's his second thing that his argument against it,
But that's what's making me mad with John Gruden. John Gruden has been a no-nonsense coach.
Right.
And these new guys coming in, he was like, "Oh, you think you're the man right here, don't you? Look at this, look at that."
Mm-hmm.
But now he's contradicting everything that he's taught all these others.
But you know why? Because he can't win without him, dude.
Yeah,
you and I both know that.
Man, gosh.
Antonio Brown on the field with Carr equals wins.
Yeah.
You know this.
Yeah.
So that's what Dion was talking about in his video that you showed me, is that the coaches have changed. Yes.
NFL.
That's an example of it.
I mean, but how hard would it be to coach the NFL? If I'm coaching you, if I'm coaching you, and you make $140 million a year, and my salary is $3 million,
mm-hmm.
Are you gonna listen to me?
That's a good question. Are you asking me, or are you asking the alternate version of me?
I mean, the alternate, the $300 million guy, like, get out my face, coach.
Well, he's 9 years in. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a 7-time Pro Bowler.
Mm-hmm.
He what has he not done? He hasn't won a Super Bowl, right? Did they? Did they get a ring?
Yeah, he got a ring.
Got one.
He got one.
Should have had about 2 or 3.
Yes.
Okay. I just don't know what else to say. I don't want us to waste our breath on him. You know, but he's electrifying.
But just think about how hard it would be to coach in the NFL.
I don't think you can pay a man enough to coach in the NFL.
I don't know. That's like stressful. That's too stressful.
Having said that, you know, it is America's pastime right now. It's not baseball. It hasn't been for a while. You take football away, what is Sunday?
Exactly.
You know, and I worked for the NFL. I worked for the Shield. That was the best job I'll ever have.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a lot of issues with the league.
Yeah.
Got a lot of issues with it.
It's a whole lot of stuff going on.
And that's again. These shows spawn others that we're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I know people have opinions on them.
I mean, if you think about it, what we talked about the other day, a lot of coaches, and I don't want to step on nobody's toes, and I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but I'm just going to tell you the truth. A lot of coaches in high school don't want good coaches by their side.
Right.
It seems like a lot of times they want guys that they can bully, that they can tell anything and make it seem like they're so wonderful, and they just have their own ego and they don't listen. But then if you look at the formula for college football,
this is what I brought up to you
that's what
yesterday.
you're telling me, and it makes so much sense. You look at Dabo Swinney's coaching staff. Look at Nick Saban's coaching staff. Every year, Nick Saban has the problem of having to go find new coaches because everybody wants coaches up under him. They're like, oh, you can be the next head coach here. You can be next head. And they're always taking other jobs. So I don't understand why in high school sports, come on, let's get it together, Florida. High school sports, a lot of these guys don't want the best coaches. Schools don't hire the best coach for the job. They hire whatever.
Some do.
And then you wonder, like, why is my football team suffering? You know, the biggest talk in Bay County has been we have too many high schools. We do have too many high schools.
Yeah, we do have a lot.
Back in the days, it was just the big 3: Rutherford, Mosley, Bay High. Everybody went there. And then I understood them building Arnold because kids had to travel so far out.
Right.
But then when you start adding the other schools in the mixes, okay, now our talent pool is very small. So you're struggling to get kids here, you're struggling to get kids there, and guess what? Florida HS or Florida High School Association says, you know what? They can go anywhere they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Back in my days, we had to play in our zone area. So if I stayed by Rutherford High School, I wasn't going to Arnold.
Right.
And that's what you get now. But people got to start taking pride in their community, pride in their schools, And right now, it's just a time for us to start taking pride in everything. And we just got to get better at it. I mean, I shout out Rutherford High School right now. I really believe Rutherford is definitely headed in the right direction. I love our principal. He is a great, funny guy, real good guy, care about the kids. But the sad part, we have a lot of schools that don't care about the kids. Shout out to Mike McLaughlin too, and I love Mike. Mike was one of my favorite principals too. So we have a lot of these schools that they just got to do better, and we got to get out of this buddy system of hiring our buddies. We got to start hiring what's best and what's right for these kids, because at the end of the day, it's all about these kids.
Amen.
And if they're not getting the best coaching, the best teaching, because there's no way your football team should ever be undisciplined. Ever be. That goes from leadership.
That goes through everything.
Let me stop preaching. Let me stop preaching.
Well, that's okay. It's a good segue. It's a good segue to close us out for tonight's game, which starts at 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN. And you said the word pride.
Yeah.
That's what tonight's game is about, okay? Because it's called Week 0, because this is the only game that's on. Mm-hmm. So the whole nation is watching this game tonight. Mm-hmm. You talk about pride. A lot of these guys have grown up playing Mighty Mites together, or against each other. Played in middle school, high school,
FBU teams, travel teams,
and now they have an exclusive night to reintroduce Miami, Florida to the world, to the country. First time since 2013. I already mentioned the stat earlier. Miami has won the last 7 of 8. Okay, that's a tough stat to get around. But it's interesting if you focus on these things. So you got Miami has a first-year head coach in what's his name, Manny Diaz. I don't know anything about this guy. I know he's a defensive guy.
And he used to work for ESPN.
Did he?
Yeah, they did a great piece on him today. He was in charge of doing the highlights for SportsCenter. And they was like, we need our highlight by 10:30. And he was like, they had the job of making those highlights. Baseball, everything.
What a great story.
Great piece on him this morning.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Well, I mean, that makes me like him, though, in a way, because he's a grinder. You know, and he's worked his way up. And I love nothing more than somebody who's doing work behind the scenes and all of a sudden they get their dream job. Mm-hmm. Another stat to put out there, second-year coach for the Gators, Dan Mullen. I like this guy.
Coach Mullen.
I like this guy. He is another quarterback whisperer, just like Bruce Arians.
All day.
If I drop the names Dak Prescott, who is the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and Tim Tebow, he coached that guy too. So Dan Mullen knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
He wins. He knows how to take what would be a traditional running quarterback and make them an all-around quarterback, because Dak and Tim Tebow are almost interchangeable.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, Coach Manny was his defensive coordinator. So they know each other.
Oh yeah, from Mississippi State.
They know each other very well.
Okay. Interesting. I'm glad you. I didn't know that part.
It's going to be chess tonight.
Something else. So Miami holds the overall series edge, 29-26. Like again, they've been going at it since 1943. They just signed a new deal on Monday for a home-and-home series that in 2024 they're going to play in Gainesville, and then the next year in 25 they're going to play in Miami. Miami won the last meeting in 2013, 21-16. Now you talk about records from last year. So this is a tale of two teams seemingly going in different directions. Last year this time, Florida was unranked, didn't know where they were going. Dan Mullen was in his first year. Miami was in the third year of Mark Richt, and they looked like they were going places. I believe they came in ranked number 6 last year, and they ended the year 35-3, getting whooped by Wisconsin in the Pinstripe Bowl. They ended their season 7-6 and 4-4 in the ACC. Now, the flip side of that, like I just said, Florida came in unranked last year. We're going seemingly nowhere. Now, they come in this year ranked number 8. Top 10. They finished last year ranked number 7. They finished winning 4 out of 4 of their last games. And, sorry, Mike McLaughlin, they whooped Michigan 41-15
out the frame
in the Peach Bowl. So, and with a 10-3 record last year, 5-3 in the SEC, and I actually think that they could give Georgia a pretty good game, at least for the first half this year. Georgia is a solid national championship team again this year in the East on the SEC side. Miami in the ACC, unfortunately, has to deal with the likes of Clemson, has to deal with the likes of FSU. Miami's got a tough road.
They definitely got a tough road.
And as far as tonight, though, what I think is actually going to happen, and I know we're going to go ahead and give our picks, we might as well, because everybody wants to know.
I got to talk about one person in there, too, that we hadn't talked about.
Okay. Go ahead and do that before we do our picks.
So, Felipe Franks.
Not sold on.
Yeah, Felipe Franks had, he had a special on him this morning.
Okay.
You know, he played in what color?
Yeah.
Was a star.
Mm-hmm.
He was highly recruited. And he talked about how hard his years at Florida have been. He's a junior this year. And he talked about his first year, how he was coming from being a star, now he's in college, and getting booed.
Yeah.
And the last game they played of the season, he went in for the go-ahead touchdown, and he ran to the crowd, and it was a Florida crowd, and did this because he got tired of them booing him. And he's like, I probably shouldn't have done it. He said, will I do it again? He said, probably not. He said, but I don't regret it. He was like, I had to overcome all of that. So I'm thinking about Felipe's stats. So his first year, he played 11 games, 125 completions, 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Last year, 1 year in the Dan Mullen, he was 175 completions, 290 out of 299 attempts, 2,284 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He has eliminated all those turnovers he had from his first season. I think this is his come out year. I wasn't sold on the kid until I seen him talk this morning, and I started looking at those stats. I'm like, wait a minute, there might be something to this right here. He was also the Peach Bowl MVP last year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at him, dude, and he's kind of a
6'6".
He's kind of a throwback in the way where the NFL is not going his direction anymore.
Exactly.
They're not looking at gigantic, robotic-looking quarterbacks. They're looking at the shorter guys, Kyler Murray at 5'9", who's the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, Heisman Trophy winner last year for Oklahoma.
You can hire me.
I'll tell you what, you better bring me. But yeah, Felipe, I want him to do well. You know, I mean, you know, we've watched him the past couple of years. Demi just like pulls her hair out because she's like, dude, you know,
the same.
You look at him and you're like, what is your excuse for sucking today? You're like, what is the deal? He'll make an incredible throw and then make a dumb decision on a 5-yard out.
Yes.
So I'm with you where I want him to do well, but until I see him tonight and with stats where he's gotten at least, or he's responsible for 3 touchdowns running and throwing, where he hasn't thrown a pick, he hasn't coughed up the ball. Dude, for me tonight, he's got to have no turnovers.
Okay.
No excuses. You're a veteran now.
Yeah.
Usually a guy your age is already in the NFL.
Yes.
Okay? And so I don't give him any kind of slack. I know I'm being hard on him.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I tell it like it is. Again, I don't have a dog in the fight, so I'm looking at him from an analysis point of view. You look at him from more of a fan point of view where you know you need him to do well to go to the promised land because you've got nobody behind him. Not that I know of anyway.
They got a freshman that's late in the
You don't want a freshman. You don't want a freshman. Not in the SEC, not as a quarterback for the Florida Gators. Let's be honest. Your fan base is very finicky.
Oh, yeah.
Do you own that?
Yeah.
Okay, you're very finicky. You're a different kind of breed. I love the passion.
We're not worse than Florida State, though.
Florida State, it's so funny because you talk about the state of Florida and their fan bases are so different.
Yeah.
We're all in the same state, but they're so different.
Oh, man, it's, woo. It goes down.
And again, another show because we have college football is so long, and thankfully we have so many shows we can talk about in and amongst that. Tonight, though,
Gators.
I've got Gators by 10.
Yes.
The line is 7. I've got them by 10. I think the first half is a defensive battle.
Definitely.
Both teams are superior athletic on the defensive side of the ball. I think if you love watching defense, that's going to be your half to watch.
Yeah.
I think in the second half, Dan Mullen says, look, okay, can we start playing now? Felipe, hey, stop messing around.
Yeah.
Get me in the end zone. I think Florida's receivers are too good. They're too fast for Miami's DBs. They're just not there yet.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest, though, we both know there's so much athleticism on both sides of the ball that Miami's going to hang in this thing.
It is.
They are not going to go down without a fight, but I don't see them winning. I got Florida by 10.
All right, I I got Florida probably by 8. I'm gonna go 2 points up under you.
Okay.
I feel like Felipe Frank's first half is gonna throw 2 picks. I think it's coming out of this game right here. Listen, Miami's defense is too good, and one thing I know about them, they're going to play for Coach Manning. So Coach Manning was the brainchild behind the turnover chain. So turnovers.
You gotta love that.
That's what they are going for tonight is turnovers. And I know Dan Mullen, if I'm coaching Felipe, mine is protect the ball, short passes. Let's do something quick. Let's get quick stuff out there. Let's establish the run, and we've got to establish the run up front because Miami has a good front defensive line. It's crazy. Their offensive line is going to be their weakness. They have 3 freshmen starting on their O-line. So I'm going to say that we're going to make some mistakes as my Gator football team. I think Felipe is going to have to turn back around and win this game. It's going to show maturity. If it's not 2 interceptions, it's going to be at least 1 interception or a fumble or something like that. But he is going to make a mistake early, and he's going to have to overcome. It's just set up that way. So I believe this is definitely Felipe's last year at the Gators. He is buying his NFL ticket this year, and I think he knows it.
I think you have to.
Yep.
I think you have to. I don't think Dan gives him another year. If he comes back for a senior, I don't think Dan says, I'm just going to hand the starting range to you.
No.
I think he makes him earn it next year.
Unless he throws for 6,000 yards and runs like crazy. I'm like, please come back, son. Please come back.
He won't.
Yeah.
He won't. There's too much money involved, and I don't blame these kids who they've got families to feed. They got to take care of them.
Yeah.
As Warren Sapp said, his whole goal was to retire his mom. I respect the heck out of that. We all would love to get our moms on a higher level financially to take care of them like they took care of us.
Yeah.
Wish I could do the same thing. But it's one of those things where whatever your background is, when you're playing in college football, it kind of is a farm system. And that's another show too, where scholarships and paying athletes. I've got my opinions on that. But look, everybody, I want to say this. Wow.
Great show.
What a show. What a show. I think it was everything we hoped it would be, everything we hyped it would be. I hoped I got to everybody on my feet and said hi to you and thank you for joining us. I hope it was exciting for you all. Enjoy the game tonight, even though if you're not a fan of either one. USF, we don't get on the board till next Friday night against Wisconsin. Where I will be doing the announcements in the press box from North Bay Haven next Friday.
All right.
So I'm going to miss that game. But to all the kids out there who might have tuned into us this week on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you are, thanks for following us all week long and supporting us. We are feeling it. We apologize for not doing the videos. We haven't done any videos for the last 2 weeks. You did do a 1-minute video yesterday.
That's right, go around.
We're gonna get more. We're gonna get back on the horse, get more involved during the week, and give you some positive messages. My man, what you got for closing?
Hey guys, I just appreciate all y'all. Last week's high school football game was a struggle. But when you're a coach and you know what goes on behind the scenes, what's going on the field, and looking at game film, you're able to say, okay, this is part of our reason right here that we didn't win the game. So all those fans that stuck with Rutherford High School stuck with us out to this following week and was like, I know y'all seen a major improvement. Like I said, hats off to Mosley. Mosley has a great football team. But I'm proud of those fans that came out, supported us. No win or lose, they supporting us. They're there. I appreciate y'all. And right now, Rutherford High School is the only undefeated team in Bay County.
True, very true. Who you guys got coming up next?
We play Vernon on Thursday night. We got a short week.
You're on the road?
No, we're here.
You're at home?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we got a short week, and then I'm going to go Friday night to see Jeremy Brown's Mosley Dolphins take on Bay High Tornadoes. That's going to be a great game. I'm just excited. This is my time of year. This is Christmas for me. Football, football, football.
North Bay Haven will be taking on Franklin High School at Dean Bozeman School next Friday night. So come out, check me out doing the announcements if you can. Try to give everybody the love we can in Bay County. I guess that's it, man.
That's it.
Great show. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Be good, be safe. God bless. Peace.
Yeah.